All right, good stuff. All right, so Marco and Josie got bingo. Who got appointments today, buyer or seller? No appointment set yet? Okay. All right, very good. All right, can you turn off the music, please? All right. All right, good stuff. All right, so Marco and Josie, just let me know what book you want, and I'll order you a book. All right. Just one book, you have to share it. Not just, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, just let me know what book you want. We'll get you a book. Have a little fun here today. All right, good stuff. All right, so said we were going to start at 12:15. What time? Oh, we got one more minute. And I think my watch is correct. So the other day we went to, I was looking at the clock and it was 7:58 and I had this plan. I was going to hop. I'm not on role play very often in the morning because I'm usually traveling to the different offices. And this one particular day, I was like, all right, I'm here. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to have a script ready. I was so excited. It was 7:58. I run over, I get my computer. I'm ready to start rallying. And the people are already in breakout rooms. And I'm like, Jesse, did you start early? He goes, what clock are you looking at? And I'm like, it says 7:58. He's like, it's 8:02. Like, I don't know. So I don't know. So my watch says this time. So I think I have it correct. All right. Very good. So let's jump into this. I shared in the chat box this. So maybe in like a couple minutes, you can post it again for the kids at home. All right. Good stuff. All right. So first of all, this is pretty cool. A packed house today. I love it. I love it, huh? Look at that. It's a Monday, people getting up. From what I was told, some of you even showered this morning. It was like a whole thing, a whole thing. Um, so let's see how that goes. All right, but no, this is cool, right? Look at now. Some of you are from the Long Beach office, which obviously makes this very convenient for you. But I'm still glad you showed up, whether it was at 7:30 or 11:30. I'm just, I'm just having fun. I'm just, I can make jokes like that. I can make jokes like that because she's such a great producer that I always know she's working. So whether she's in the office at 7:30, 11:30, I know I'm going to get great production from her. So I never worry about that. It's just all good times. But, but we have people from, I mean, Marietta and Marco drove out from Porter Ranch and so I mean, we got people from Irvine and Walnut and Corona and all kinds of different places. Marian lives in, Koreatown. You can't tell by looking at him, but he does. And so I mean, we got people driving from all over the place to come here. Look, and it's just one day, right? I know for some people it's like, oh man, Long Beach is so far. Like I get it. It's one day to get in the car, drive to the office, and feed off this energy. Was this fun this morning? And I having like a full because we don't get a full office very often in any of our offices. I hear that all the time, and because I travel around so much, it's there's not a lot of people in the office. Like, okay, well, look, how about one day a week, everyone comes together and go and prospect next to each other, feed off of that energy. It's because I could go to the offices and they for those of you that don't know, the admin had this wonderful term for me. It's called Hurricane Hertel because me, I get to the office and I'm pacing. Right, you saw me here today. I'm on the phone. I'm pacing. I'm loud. Let's go. Right. I know some of you are like, that's why we don't go to the office. But that's that's why we don't go. Robert's crazy. He's distracting. But that's just how it goes. And so we want to feed off of that energy. So don't be afraid to do that. I mean, we have great people in all of our offices. So whether you want to just go feed off of the energy or you just want to go listen, to be able to come and listen to some of the agents that are in this office prospecting, to go to any of our other offices and listen to people prospect. So, that's the beauty of our company is we have that. Rochelle, did you get one of these? Okay. I think Brenda printed some more. Some more. Oh, there you go. That's the beauty of our company. So utilize that. Utilize that. There's no reason why you can't take advantage of those opportunities. So very, very cool stuff. And I know sometimes people go, well, I go to the office and then there's people's stuff sitting there and I'm not sure, can I sit there? Go sit there and then blame me. Okay. And I will handle the situation. Okay. It's okay. You have my permission. Okay. If all else fails, blame Robert and say, Robert gave me approval. Just let me know ahead of time that you're going to blame me for it. And I'll still back you up, but just, give me a little heads up on it. All right. So here's what we're going to talk about today. Blueprint to becoming a listing agent. Now, can we all agree that being a listing agent is rather important in our business? Very important. Right. Now, as this NAR settlement lawsuit comes, into fruition, do you think it's going to be more important or less important to be great at taking listings? More. Everybody say more. Okay. Say it again. More. Okay. I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. Okay. Now, look, there's always going to be an opportunity to work with buyers. And I actually think for a lot of you, working with buyers is going to get a lot easier. And well, why would you possibly say that? Because what's right now, when you're working with a buyer, what's one of the biggest objections you get when working with a buyer?
Interest rates too high.
Interest rates. But if you want to get a buyer to work with you, what's one of the struggles you get trying to get buyers to work with you right now?
They want to go right to a listing.
Right. They don't want to sign a buyer representation agreement. Well, with this new lawsuit, NAR took out that objection. They have to sign an agreement. It's mandatory. So that objection's over with. So if they have to sign an agreement, why wouldn't they sign an agreement with you? Okay. So I do think it'll be easier to work with buyers for you. Okay. Everyone else is screwed because why would you sign a representation agreement with somebody who doesn't know what the hell they're doing? Okay. So I do think it'll be easier. However, the commission's going to be less. And the commissions have already gone down working with buyers over the last few years. And if you don't believe me, I have plenty of stats to show you that. But I'd rather not do that. Just believe me. Okay. That just makes life easier for everybody. All right. But as this lawsuit comes into play, I don't see a situation. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see a situation how commissions go up working with buyers. I only see how it potentially goes down. So I think it'll be easier for us to work with buyers, but less money. Now, I'm assuming nobody here is in real estate just because they really love people. No, this is a safe place. It's a safe place. You got into real estate for what reason? Liars. You got into real estate so nobody could give you a schedule. That's why you got into real estate. That's why you got here. Yeah. Some of you say, I got into real estate for money. Liar, liar, pants on fire. You got into real estate for freedom and flexibility, which is what I call the 2 F words of real estate. Okay. I have the freedom to create my own schedule, the flexibility. Nobody can tell me what to do. That's why you really got into this. The money's just a bonus. But can you make some pretty good money in real estate?
Yes.
Woo. So now you get the opportunity where you get to be your own boss. You don't have to hit a time clock and you get to make really good money. What a great scenario. But I gotta tell you, going forward, listings is where you're going to really make the most money. Okay. It's that much more important to be a really great listing agent as this lawsuit comes in and buyer commissions continue to go down. You want to be able to control the listings so you can control your commissions. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. But we have to get great at taking listings. So that's one of the things we're going to go over today. Now, I have some good news and some bad news going forward in terms of being a great listing agent. Here's the good news. I've shared this with you before, but I'll share it again. Over the last 5 years, just in our MLS, just our market, not national, not regional, not state, just in our MLS here in Southern California, the number of active licensed real estate agents has dropped 26%.
Yoo-hoo!
That is great, right? Yeah. That's great news. And we were at 103,000 5 years ago, active licensed real estate agents in our MLS, and now we're down to 76,000. Okay, so we're down 26% drop in terms of active licensed real estate agents. That is great news because you have less competition, which is always a plus. And even though there's a lot of agents that you wouldn't consider to be your competition, well, they only do one listing a year, they're not really my competition. Well, if 25,000 real estate agents only did one deal, that's still 25,000 deals that are out of our marketplace. Now those are back. Now, what's the only downside to all those agents leaving the business?
The good ones are.
All the good ones are still left. So when it comes to being a great listing agent, you used to be able to get lucky sometimes and say, all right, well, who are you meeting with? And they would say somebody you had no idea who they were. And you're like, I'm going to wipe the floor with this person. This is stupid. Now it's like, well, who are you meeting with? Oh, I'm meeting with some lady named Dulce Ibarra. You're like, oh, I got to bring my A game, right? Because that's who's left are the people like that. So the good news is you have less competition. The downside is there's no freebies anymore. You're going to have to really earn it. And that's why you got to become great at becoming a listing agent. So let's jump into this. So I have this broken down here in a couple different things, the basic 10 and the advanced 10. Now, here's one of the biggest critiques I get on becoming a great listing agent. Robert, you're a Mike Ferry guy. And, you know, I don't follow the Mike Ferry system. Okay, that's fine. So I wrote out a blueprint that fits everybody, whether you are a Mike Ferry person, a Tom Ferry person, or a Tooth Fairy person. I don't really care, right? I have this written out. I love Brian Buffini. Brian Buffini would approve of this. I love my own way of doing business. You should approve of this. Okay, this is for everybody. This is like one size fits all hats. Okay, this is for everybody. So no matter who you follow, this will work for you as long as you work it. But here's the other thing I want to share with you. When one of the, again, the pushbacks I get sometimes when I talk is because of my Mike Ferry background is prospecting and the way that we do things. Okay, so I went to a Tom Ferry seminar recently because I like to gather, hey, you know, because we have agents that follow everyone, so I like to be in the know. And I went to Tom Ferry seminar, and do you know that at his seminar, he had the audacity to tell the crowd that this year you're going to have to talk to more people than you've ever talked to before to generate more business. The audacity of that man.
No more social media.
To tell, no. He still promotes that, right? And that's great. But he still said you have to talk to people. And do you know that he also had the audacity to tell people to learn his scripts? What a bastard. I thought only Mike Ferry did those things. Can't believe it. And then I also watched a video of Brian Buffini. Brian Buffini was talking, and I love Brian Buffini. He's a funny man. And he's a great teacher and a great speaker. And he did a video about becoming a great listing agent in 2024. And it was like an hour-long video. And I said, I want to listen to what he says. And I listened. And did you know that he said you should have more conversations with your database than you've had in years past? I couldn't believe my ears that he would say such a thing. So no matter who you follow, do you have to talk to people?
Yeah.
This is a talk to people business. And I got to tell you, yeah, social media is a big part of it, and people can do those things. But the more verbal conversations you have, the more business you will get rather than digital. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
Got to have verbal. I don't care what scripts you use. I really don't. I don't care what scripts you use. Okay. But you got to have verbal conversations with people because people don't always answer in text. Here's what you get with a verbal conversation. Are you thinking about buying or selling? Well, I don't know. Okay. I got something here. Here's what happens via text. Are you interested? No, I think I'm good. And all you get is no, I think I'm good. Okay, great, done. You didn't hear the pause. You didn't hear the curiosity going on in their mind. They have questions, but they're not telling you. You got to have those verbal conversations. So anyways, this plan works out for everyone. So let's go through this. Okay. Well, actually, one more note. Note number 2, if you want to speed up the process, take every point below and do more of it. Okay. So this is the basics. You want to speed it up, do more. So number 1, start your day reading your goals, what you're going to do with the money you're going to make in real estate. Now, here's what I've established, and I'm being really sincere when I say this, and I'm not making this as a joke, but this is what I figured out. Most people in real estate don't need money. It's just what I figured out. Because if most people needed money, they would do more work. Okay, so you don't, some of you might need money, but most of you don't. It's just reality. It's not a joke, it's reality. So that's why I worded it this way. What are you going to do with the money you're going to make in real estate? Because part of being a great listing agent is you got to get in the mindset of being a great listing agent. And because being a great listing agent, you have to be tenacious. You have to want to win, right? Anyone that's been around me for any amount of time knows I talk about winning a lot. That's my thing. That's my whole mentality. Everything I do in life is based around winning. That's it, in every aspect. Otherwise, I don't want to do it. So being a listing agent, you have to want to win. Well, you can't have that mentality if you don't have great goals and if you're not reading your goals. Anyone here ever written a goal, put it in your drawer, and didn't read that goal again for X amount of time and probably forgot about that goal? Right? Everybody raise your hand. This is tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Okay, right? But he's done it. It's out of sight, out of mind. So you start every day by reading your goals. Anyone have a tough time getting out of bed sometimes? Yeah. Okay, right? Why don't you have your goals next to your nightstand? That alarm clock goes off and it's still dark outside. Or, well, for some of you, it might not be dark outside, but, whatever. It's still dark outside for some of us. You don't want to get out of bed. You want to hit that snooze button. Have your goals right there. Because if your goals are exciting, you should be able to read your goals and say, all right, let's go. Now you start your day. I'm in that mentality because I'm going to go get it. Right? You want to be a good listing agent, you got to create that mentality. Number 2, get all your contacts organized in a CRM. You can't be a great listing agent if you're scattered. And I know some of you go, oh, all my contacts are in CRM. And then I talk to some of you and I'll say, hey, tell me about this lead. And you're like, hold on, let me find it. Like, why do I know more about your lead than you do? Took better notes than you did. Okay. You got to get everybody in a CRM. Now, as a company, you get Follow Up Boss at no cost. I don't care if you use Follow Up Boss. I don't get any money off of it, so I don't care. You use Follow Up Boss, you could use Moxie, you could use Top Producer, Realty Juggler. I don't care. But pick a CRM and stick with it and get all your contacts organized in there. Your past client, your centers of influence, get them in there, right? You got to have some organization. Then once you get everybody in your database, set them up at least on a monthly email campaign. Now you can use HomeBot, which is part of Follow Up Boss. If you have Follow Up Boss with us, you get HomeBot for free. But get them a newsletter, get them something, right? You want to stay in touch with people. You just never know. Write this word down, exposure. Great listing agents have great exposure. Well, nobody reads emails. I know nobody reads emails, but I also hear that nobody answers the phone. Nobody answers the doors. And, everyone's ghosting me. I hear this all the time. It's exposure. You want them to see your emails. You want them to hear your voice. You want them to see you on social media. You want to see them. They want to see you everywhere. So send them an email. The emails are free. So you can have as many people in there as you want. You should never delete people from your email list. They're free. Maybe if you don't want to call everybody, but get them on your email list. Number 4, set reminders to make sure everyone in your database gets called at least every 3 months. Minimum. Every 3 months. Verbal. Why text them? Stop. You could keep texting them, but you got to have verbal conversations. So every 3 months at a minimum, they should have a phone conversation with you or pop by. Now, if you want a bonus, I would take your influencers and contact them every month. Now, influencer, what I establish as an influencer is anyone that's referred you a deal should be your influencers. Because let's be honest, is it a low percentage or high percentage of people that actually refer you business? Oh, you might have 500 people in your database, and maybe if you got 50 of them to refer you business, that'd be a pretty good database. So that person that referred you a deal, even if the deal didn't close, they referred you a buyer, didn't qualify, they still thought of you enough to refer you a business. They should be on your influencer list. They should get a contact every month. That's my opinion. Past clients that have used you multiple times, get them on your influencer list. Get a contact every month. Right? Give a little extra love for those people, but a minimum every 3 months. And we got to build this reputation. Imagine even if you're going prospecting, right? You're prospecting, you're doing a neighborhood prospecting session, you say, hey, do you mind if I add you to my database? They say yes. At this point, you're far apart. They don't know you. You don't know them. Well, now they get an email from you every week or every month. You get a little bit closer. They get a call from you every 2 to 3 months. You're getting a little bit closer. After a year or two, they've gotten 12 emails, 4, 5, 6 phone conversations. Now it's like you're their real estate agent. You got to build that foundation, but you can only do that if you're making calls and emails. Here's the thing. I want you to write this down. 3 biggest lies we tell ourselves about our database. Right? As a bonus point on here. 3 biggest lies we tell about ourselves on our database. Lie number 1, they know I'm in real estate. It's lie number 1. How do I know? If anyone would like to play this game, you could take out your cell phone and I can just start scrolling through your contacts. You tell me when to stop and you tell me if you know what they do for a living. Anyone think they could do that with every contact in their phone? No. Even if you only had your immediate family, right? I think my dad has something to do with the health department. I'm not sure, right? Could be that or he's in the mafia. One of the two. I don't know. All I know is he wears a lot of jumpsuits and pays in cash. Anyways. So well, guess what? You're in somebody else's phone that same way. Not everyone knows you're in real estate. Lie number 2, they'll call me if they need anything. So NAR does this survey every year, buyers and sellers, home generational trends, buyers and sellers. And they ask the question, are you happy with your real estate agent? Would you be willing to use your real estate agent again? Anyone want to take a guess at what percentage of people would be willing to use their real estate agent again? Because the number is always pretty much the same.
78. 78.
It's 89. 75 said they would definitely do it. And then there was another 14% said they probably would. So 89% of people said, I'd be willing to use my real estate agent again. Good job. We're doing something great. Now, here's the other thing. What percentage of people do you think used their past real estate agent when they bought or sold in 2023?
30.
It was 23. So 89% of people, I love my real estate agent. I'd use them again. I need to buy or sell a house. Only 23% do. What do you think is the number 1 reason? No communication. Now, here's the kicker. The number 1 thing is I never hear from them. Okay, that sounds reasonable. I never hear from them. Here's the second one, though. And this is the one I think is the really big hitter. I hear from them sometimes, but I hear from other people more. So when we think to ourselves, well, they'll call me if they need anything, 23% will. But 89% were willing to use you again. You with me? So stop saying, oh, they know I'm in real estate. They'll call me if they need anything. No. Or lie number 3 is all my business comes from my database, so I clearly have that taken care of. All my business is referrals. I do this on recruiting appointments, right? And some of you have obviously gone through that with me before you came to the company. Is I'll say, how many people in your database? And you'll say, I got 200. And how many deals came from your database last year? 10. Wow, congratulations. Good for you. You got 10 deals from your database. Well, what happened to the other 10? Well, what do you mean? Well, your database should generate 10%, either them directly or through referral every 12 months. So we think all our business comes from our database. We have that figured out, but we don't think about the deals that we're missing because we're not communicating enough. So when it comes to this stuff, email, calls, we got to be in touch with them more often. All right, number 5.
Number 3.
Whoa.
Sorry, that's 3.
All right. So number 4, we set reminders. Number 5, create a high quality pre-listing package or listing presentation. I know not everyone does a pre-listing package, but so create a listing presentation. So upgrade. Okay. I mean, make it look really nice, really sleek, really good. We have a great marketing team that has some really nice templates to put some nice stuff for you. Okay, so make your presentation, come on, spice it up a little bit. I mean, this is Southern California. We're supposed to be luxury around here. And some of you still have the old Century 21 logo. The yellow and black. It's like, okay, we're slow to get up to speed. It's been about 6 years, right? Or for those of you that do follow Mike Ferry, and you use the Mike Ferry listing plan of action. Well, there's something on that listing plan of action that Mike Ferry hasn't updated in a while. Anyone want to guess what it is?
Facts.
Facts. So, show of hands, how many of you have faxed a benefit sheet to the other real estate agents in your town in the last 25 years? But on the Mike Ferry listing plan of action, it says I'm going to fax a blank, because you put the number, a benefit sheet to the top agents in your area. Well, imagine if you have that still on your listing plan of action, you send that to a seller, and they're going, fax, who the heck are we meeting with?
Right.
What the heck is going on around here? Right? So upgrade, right? Make it look really good. Number 6, role play at least 15 minutes daily on scripts and objection handlers, and role play at least 15 minutes daily on your preferred listing presentation. Now, again, if you want to get better faster, do more. But there's no reason why you can't set aside 30 minutes every single day, 15 minutes to do scripts and objection handlers, 15 minutes on your listing presentation. Is that just unreasonable to spend 30 minutes a day on those things? No. I mean, there's 24 hours in a day. We're talking about 1/48th of your day. And if any of you think, well, I just can't squeeze that in because I've got kids, I can't squeeze that in because I got this, sit down with me. We'll create a schedule. I promise you, I'll fit it in. Okay, we'll make it work. 15 minutes. So here's why I put 15 minutes. If you did something for 15 minutes a day for 220 days, the average real estate agent, they say, works 220 days. You might work more, you might work less. But if you did something for 15 minutes a day for 220 days, that equals 55 hours a year. If you did something for 55 hours over the next 12 months, would you be better?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just 15 minutes a day. If you did scripts and objection handlers for 55 hours, you'd be significantly better. If you spent 55 hours working on your listing presentation, you'd be significantly better. Now, again, do more to get better faster, but just 15 minutes a day. You got to figure that stuff out. Chant it out, write it out. Now, if you want a bonus, okay, record your listing presentation, send it to myself or a coach or somebody. We'll give you some feedback on it. I promise you it's not as bad as you think. Okay? Because someone, I don't want to send it, I'm going to look really bad. Like, well, better to look bad in front of me than a client, but everyone's different. All right, but 15 minutes a day. But on whatever your preferred listing presentation is. But I wrote this down here under 15 minutes in daily scripts and objection handlers. Only work on the scripts you're going to use. Okay? Well, I spent today working on probate. When's the last time you called probate? Never have. Good. Good. It was a good use of your time. You have any probate leads, numbers? Nope. Good. Good. That's great. That was a valuable 15 minutes you got there. Okay. I spent 15 minutes working on expireds. Do you call expireds? Not really. Good. Good start. Good start. But I already know the just listed script. Okay. How about I do it and you do it, and let's see who's better. And some of you will be able to be okay. Most of you won't. That's not me being arrogant. That's me just proving a point that even the script that you think is the most basic one, I'll bet you could do better. Okay. So only work on the ones you're going to work on. Okay. Same thing with objection. Well, here, so I wrote this down under objections. Don't practice the what if objections. What if they say this? They won't. Okay. What if they say that I'll use you if you do this and that and this? And I'm like, that's never going to happen. And if they do, just come up with an answer. Okay. There's no reason to worry about the what if objections. What if they say they've never heard of my company, Century 21?
Yeah.
Well, what if they say they don't see my signs in the yard? Then you tell them it's because your home sells so quickly. Sign goes up, it comes right back down. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this is simple stuff. All right, get away with the what if objections. Price, commission. I got a friend in the business. Price, commission. I have a friend in the business. Have 3 or 4 ways of handling each objection rather than having 40 ways to handle, or one way to handle 40 different objections. You with me? All right. Study InfoSparks or other market stats monthly. Knowledge is power. So you need to have that market stat, okay? I love it when people say the market's hot. Okay, good. Why? Homes are selling fast. Thank you. Good. It's great. I'm definitely going to hire you for my next listing. Oh, it's a great time to buy. Good. Why? No. Because it's California. Good. Good start. All right. We're moving. I'm sorry. But I don't mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but I'll do that with people sometimes because I want to see, okay, great. Do you know an answer? No, and then you don't know an answer. So you need to study the market stats. Well, why is it a good time to sell? Well, did you know that the average home in our marketplace is selling for 21% faster than this time last year? And home prices are the highest they've ever been in Southern California. Did you know that was going on? I don't know. I had no idea. Like, that's an answer. Well, why is it a great time to buy? Interest rates are so high. That's a really great point. But did you know that in our market, home prices have gone up 11% in the last 12 months? Can you imagine if you bought the house 12 months ago, you'd already have 11% equity. And if you don't buy right now, then next 12 months, you're going to be down another 11%. Gosh, 2 years, you'd be at 20% equity already. So do you want to buy now or do you want to keep waiting? Like, that's an answer instead of great time to buy. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't know the market stats, you don't know what's going on, you can't have that conversation. So have that conversation. Bless you. Preview a minimum of 2 homes daily. Now, I've decided to change number 8. I don't want you to go preview 2 homes because I know people don't like to go preview. So I've changed it. What I want you to do is instead of going to preview 2 homes daily, I want you to go see 2 homes that are for sale a day. I don't want you to preview anymore. Instead, I want you to just go see 2 homes that are for sale. Okay, does that sound fair? All right, okay, good. Poor Neil. God, I've known Neil for a long time, and Neil pushes previewing like nobody's business because it's such a valuable thing. He always says, I just can't get him to preview. So I've decided we're going to try to switch it up. Just go see homes that are for sale, right? But 2 a day. So I learned something. Let me share a valuable thing about preview because maybe some people don't get it. And I've shared this before. I actually learned this from Melinda. So I'm going to give away one of your secrets. You all right? All right, good. I'd said that to Ron Cronin one day. I said, I stole one of your things. He goes, that's all right. You steal from me, I steal from you, and everyone steals from everyone else. It's fine. We just get it all somewhere. When you're at a listing presentation and you're going over the comps, does the seller sometimes feel like no matter what you say, their house is worth more? Okay, so here's the value of previewing. When you're going through the comps and you ask them, have you seen this house? Typically, what's the answer? No. When you can reply, say, well, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I've actually been in this house. And this house is slightly better than yours. And let me tell you why. You instantly have control over price. Because how can they argue with you? They've never seen the house. You've been in it. You with me? But if you don't preview houses and you say, have you seen this house? And they say no, and you go, well, neither have I. So, sure, yeah, your home is definitely better. How can you fight them on price? You've never seen the house. That's one of the really great values of previewing. Have you seen this house? No, I've been in this house. They can't argue anymore. Okay. So that's one of the really great values of previewing property. On top of just being out on the streets, you could run into business, you could run into leads, just having all that knowledge, that confidence. What about working with a buyer? Now, does every real estate agent, I know all of you do. I know all of you do. This is for the other real estate agents that are just not to your level. Does every real estate agent in our marketplace post all the bad photos of the property?
No.
No, they don't. They don't. They only post the good photos. So they typically don't post, power lines, for example. I'm not necessarily opposed to power lines. I had a house with power lines before. That's probably explains a lot to some of you, but that's a different story. Okay. But some buyers don't want power lines, do they? Right. So they say, you know what, Robert? I want this. The only thing I don't want is I don't want power lines going through the backyard. Okay, no problem. So you go to the MLS, you don't preview property, but it's got everything they want. It's got the upgraded kitchen, the bedroom, vast square footage. And you say, hey, Jesse, I found that house that you're looking for. Can we go see it tomorrow at 2:00? And Jesse's like, of course, Robert, I'm, super coachable. Let's go. And you're like, great. And you drive up to the house and they pull out of the house and they look up and they go, I only asked for one thing not for this house to have. I said everything else fine. I asked for one no thing that I could have was power lines, and that's the very first thing I noticed going through the backyard. Should you have probably previewed that house before you showed them that house? Because they're Not going to work with you. It's over. It's over. You just put your head down and go, sorry, let me refer you over to another agent. And maybe they'll pay me back with another lead. Bless you. Yeah, Jesse's okay with the power.
She needs a little Google guy too.
Yeah. If you're not gonna go preview, at least do Google Street View or something. Right? Something so you have some sort of idea. All right, talk to at least 15 people per day, 5 days a week, and add at least one person to your database weekly. Now, again, I think you should do more, but you at least 15 per day. But I want you to write this word underneath there, consistently. Consistently. Because 15 contacts a day over 5 days equals 75 contacts. I was going to ask how much it was, but then I know some people are like, I don't do math in public. So it's 75. Okay. It's 75. 15 contacts a day, 5 days a week is far better than 75 contacts one day. Way better. Well, what do you mean? It's the same number of contacts at the end of the week. Okay. One, it's the consistency of things. Anything you do in life, if you do it consistently, you keep momentum going. You keep energy going, right? Instead of start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. Okay. You keep that energy going. Number two is, how many of you have ever made 75 contacts in a day? Okay. A couple of you. I heard a voice, over in a corner there behind some wall. So some of you have made 75 contacts in a day. Now I want you to be honest. Were you pretty exhausted the next day?
Oh, God.
Pretty beat?
Were you, Melinda?
And I'm gonna guess, she has her moments. I'm gonna guess, and I'm gonna tell, because I'm gonna share my own story here in a second. I'm gonna guess that for a lot of you, the last 15 to 20 contacts were pretty useless. Okay, because here's what I mean. I've shared this story before. So we did this in the Walnut office, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, where we had 100 contact day, right? And we said, and I were like, we're going to make 100 contacts, and you had to put money in the pot, because if you didn't make the 100 contacts, we're going to raffle off the money. So we had some skin in the game. It was a whole thing, right? And we started at 8 o'clock. We role played from 7:30 to 8 as a group. We then prospect started at 8. You had to make 100 contacts, no matter what the deal was. Well, here's what happened. Okay, a lot of people didn't finish. A lot of people did. But I can tell you right now, when we got to about 60, the group was spent. So pretty much the last 40 contacts was this. Ring, ring, ring. Hey, this is Rob. Instead of Robert Hertel, Century 20. Hey, this is Robert with C21. You don't want to sell your house, do you? Okay, thank God. Click. Hey, it doesn't matter. You don't want to sell, do you? No, okay, click. 64. 2 hours later, it's now just on the floor. What are you at? 96. I'm just calling random numbers. I don't even know at this point, trying to get to 100. Like the last 40 contacts was useless. And then on top of that, I had to show up because I was working for the company at the time. I had to show up to work the next day. Everyone else that made 100 contacts didn't show up to work for like 2 or 3 days because they were exhausted. Their voices were gone. It was beat. Like, well, this was the stupidest idea we've ever had. We're never doing this again. Dumb.
There you go.
So the consistency, though, if we had just said, hey, how can we make 20 contacts a day for the next 5 days, would have been a much better week than just 100 contacts a day. So consistently, at least 15 people a day. And again, that's a no matter who you follow thing, because Tom Ferry's got this thing called the 5-5-4, right? For those of you that follow Tom Ferry, it's 5 past clients, 5 centers of influence, 4 new people. That's 14. Let's add one more for 15. But here's the other thing, though. For those of you that don't make consistently 25, 30 contacts, I know some of you say 25, 30. If you typically only make 10, 12, 8, whatever contacts a day, and no matter whatever number you're at, that's fine. Don't shoot for 30. Shoot for 13, 14, 15, because here's what happens. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Your goal is 30, and you're at 12 contacts. You're going to start prospecting and get those other 18 contacts? Probably not. But if your goal is 15, I'll bet you prospect for the final 3. So you're going to get those 3 extra contacts. Now, again, 3 contacts a day, 220 days, that's 660 more contacts a year. You're probably going to find a deal. So baby steps to get to whatever number you're at. And then number 10, go on any and all listing presentations to get yourself in the game. Well, Robert, I'm interested in selling. Okay, great. How much do you want to list your home for? I'm hoping to get $1 million. You know, it's a $800,000 neighborhood. Go. Get yourself in the game. Okay. Now, as your production goes up, then you got to obviously alter that a little bit. But go. Get yourself in the game. Go do a presentation. Right? See what's going on. And then maybe there's something else happening that you can have a conversation with. Maybe they think $1 million because Zillow said $1 million. Maybe they think $1 million because their neighbor got $1 million, but they don't realize that the neighbor's got X, 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 and X. Go. We've got to get in the game. You want to be a great listing agent, you got to get in the game. So sometimes that means you got to go, even if they're not super motivated. Well, when are you thinking about selling? We're probably 4 or 5 months away. Okay, great. Well, why don't we set an appointment for a couple? Just go. Even if it doesn't turn into an appointment, but it's a face-to-face contact, go. Get in the game instead of sitting around waiting, trying to find that perfect listing presentation. Because here's the thing. In 2024, is it taking more contacts to get a lead? Yes. For those of you who've been around for a while, is it taking more leads to get an appointment? And for the appointments that you're setting, is it taking them longer to make a decision? So it's not uncommon for someone today to say, hey, I'm thinking about selling my house, but probably the next 4 to 5 months. That's pretty common. So go on the presentation, have that conversation with them, talk about their house, what their house is going to sell for. Hey, we got to get more in the game. Got to get more in the game. Questions on the basic 10. Okay, this is the basics. If you're not at least doing the basics, you're going to have a really hard time becoming a good listing agent. You got to at least get the basics down. So then the next page, we're going to get to the advanced level. Advanced level. Okay. Oh, and on that first page, there's a QR code to meet with Hunter to get your CRM set up in the Follow Up Boss, and then a QR code to our marketing team to get a new package. All right, so here's the advanced 10. If you're new to the business or have taken 2 or less listings in your career, either retake the foundations course with Terry or take the new to real estate agent pathway in Century 21 University. So put your ego aside. For those of you that are new to the business or have taken 2 or less listings in your career, put your ego aside and go scan that QR code to go take the new agent pathway at C21 University. Okay? Because you have to work on building the foundation. And I've put together a great program on building the foundation. I've sent it out to a lot of you, but I'm not saying this as a joke. Sometimes you hear from me too much. Okay, because I'm always pushing stuff out there. So if you go here, that's from Century 21 University. It's like, you know what? This is a different voice that's helping me build the foundation. Okay, because sometimes you just need that. That's okay. That's actually why I took a step back at the beginning of this year doing less training classes. It's not because I want to do less training classes, but sometimes I get annoyed. Okay, no, Robert, you would never get that was your cue to say something like that. Like, no, Robert, we love you, you know. Whatever, it's over. The moment's passed. Jesse's over here going, true. True. Jesse's like, I've been telling you that for years. You got to do less classes. You got to let other people talk for once. All right, but do that. Number 2, record a role play listing presentation weekly and send it to Neil or Robert. Role play a listing presentation weekly. Video and audio. If you want to get good faster, this is how you're going to do it. You're going to role play a listing presentation weekly, record it, video and audio, and send it to myself or Neil or both of us. We'll watch it and give you some feedback on it. Oh, God. Well, how do I do that? My phone has a recorder. I mean, I don't know. Everyone's got probably an iPhone or something. I think my dad's the only one that still has like a flip phone from 1984. You know, somehow he keeps getting new ones. I don't even know they make them, but every time he needs a new one, he finds one. It's the weirdest thing.
My dad, he threw it across the room, broke it, and we went back and got him the cheap house.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. It's just the way it goes. God bless him. You know, but record it, do something, upload it to Google Docs, things like that. Oh, Robert, I don't like how I look on camera. Okay, I'm going to say something that's going to be really offensive. So bear with me. If you don't like how you look on camera with all the filters and edits you can do, imagine what you look like in person. And none of you should feel that way, but I hate that excuse. Oh, I hate how I look on camera. Well, so you think that magically you look better in person and that's going to give you more confidence? No, stop. Okay. I'm shy. Then you're in the wrong industry. I don't like recording myself. Then go into customer service or something, right? Admin, right? Something along those lines. Yeah, look at Jesse. Jesse, we like to have a lot of fun with Jesse because we'll like push him to do things and he gets bright red. It's hilarious, right? Good times. Like right now.
Every time you say his name, he cringes.
he just Jesse has left the building. He's like this jackass. But some of you do that as real estate agents. So I don't want to put myself on camera. I'm like, what do you mean? Like you're in a face-to-face industry, right? So role play your listing presentation weekly. Send it. I'll give you some fair criticism. Neil will give you fair criticism. That's how you're going to get better faster. Plain and simple. Okay. Record a few prospecting calls weekly. Send it to us. We'll listen. Well, how many should I send you? I don't know. Just send it. Don't worry about it. Stop being analytical. Send it. I'll stop listening when I want to stop listening. But then I'll give you some feedback on it. Just today, right? Marion's sitting right behind me, and he's got this, if any of you know him, he's got this big smile, this great energy. And then all of a sudden I hear him on a phone call, and he's super stern and super serious. So I walked in, and thank God Angie had a mirror. So I put the mirror in front of him. I said, you need to stare at that mirror when you're prospecting because you need to make sure you're smiling when you're prospecting because it's going to make your prospecting much better. You think that happens at just every brokerage?
No.
No, that doesn't happen at just every brokerage, that you have somebody that's willing to like, no, hold on. Let me put a mirror in front of you. Let me help you do this. So if I can listen to your prospecting calls, I can figure some stuff out. I listened to some because somebody sent me some calls the other day. And they said, what do you think the problem is? I said, you're boring. And I'm not being mean, but you make the phone calls and it's like, hey, this is so-and-so. I'm just like, I would hang up too. I said, so you got to crank up the energy. You got to do more of that. But if you don't record your calls and I can't listen to it or somebody else can't listen to it, you're not going to know that. Okay. And I don't want you to take this as me being mean. I'm not being mean. I am your biggest cheerleader. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I get intense because I want to win. I want to help you do better, but I'm always going to encourage you. I mean, every email I send starts with, hey, superstars, some content, you got this. Every email.
I love it.
Okay. So be open to the feedback. All right. Attend at least one contract class monthly. Okay. And especially right now because the contracts have changed. But if you want to be a great listing agent, you need to know the contracts. I mean, you just do. It's part of your value is knowing the contracts. Because the last thing you want to do is have a great presentation. Yes, we're ready to go. And then you pull out this contract and you're like, I don't really know. And should I sign here? Sure. It asks for a signature. I'm not sure who, but yeah, just you sign here. Right. Well, what's your commission? It's on there somewhere. And what's the terms? Probably on there too. Sure. There's a template for this. Right. One contract class monthly. And we do, gosh, Terry does like 5 or 6 classes and we have more classes. I mean, it's pretty easy to do that. Right. Attend at least 2 sales training classes monthly. I mean, we do a sales training class every day, 5 days a week at 12:15. So you have like 20 opportunities. I know you can't do all of them, and that's fine. I don't expect you to do all of them, but you can find 2. Okay. Robert, we love yours. Great. I do it every Monday at 12:15. Robert, we hate yours. Great. Go to Hunter at 12 at Tuesday. We hate Hunter too. That's fantastic. I hate him as well. Go to Neil's Mastermind at Thursdays at 3:15. Oh, we don't like those mastermind agents. That's fantastic. You should go to our social media class with Brian Cassidy on Wednesday. You know, like, I mean, we could go down the line here. Okay. Troy does AI. Right? But at least 2 classes monthly. Good stuff there. And there's a QR code to our training classes. Identify at least 3 sources of business you want to focus on. And then here's underline this. Create a plan for each. Identify 3 sources of business you focus on and create a plan for each. Well, I want to work expired. Okay, great. What's the plan? I'm going to call them. Good. Good start. That's anything else? No. Okay. Great. I'm going to work probates. Do you know how to go get probates? No. Good. Okay. We're off to a good start. Okay. Create a plan for each. And if you need help creating a plan, we can help you create a plan. Actually, at the bottom of these QR codes here, there's a plan to get good at for sale by owners and a plan to get good at expireds. So it's already kind of done for you. Now, I'm not suggesting you do those. I would actually suggest you not do those, to be quite honest with you, because there's not a lot for sale by owners. And it's really, really hard to have your home expire in Southern California. So if it's expired, probably a pretty good reason. But if you really want to go after those sources, there's a plan created for you. But create a plan for it. I want to farm. Okay, great. What's the plan for farming? We can go get business, but what's the plan? I want to get good at probates. Great. Then let's go create a plan. I want to get good at absentee owners. Great. Let's create a plan. So that way you have like a real plan to go after these sources instead of just these are my 3 sources. You with me? Okay, so let's create a plan for each one. But at least you need at least 3 sources of business. Okay, social media could be a source, but let's create a plan for social media. Don't do that with me. Not because I'm anti-social media. I'm just social media stupid. Okay, so if you came to me and said, Robert, I want to create a social media plan, like I'm on your side, but I am not the person to help you create that. It's just not my thing. That's okay. But anything else, I mean, we have other people that can help you with that. All right, last few here. I know we're over. You'll be all right. Number 7, attend at least one outside event yearly, such as 121, which is a Century 21 event, Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, Brian Feeney, Tony Robbins, etc. At least one time a year, go to an outside event for a few days. Okay? At least once a year. Why? Why do you think that's important?
Energy.
Energy. Energy at those events. What else?
Motivating.
More motivating. Those, yeah, get you pumped. What else? Network. Network at those events. Yeah. I mean, all right. I mean, networking. So I got invited to, so there's a real estate agent in Las Vegas, Dan Mung, who a lot of you know and refer business out to. And anytime anyone asks me for a referral in Vegas, I typically send it to Dan. Well, he goes, you're going to the Superstar Retreat. I want to invite you to a private dinner that I'm having because you're my biggest referral source. Okay, great. So when you go network at these places, you find agents from outside. Where do you think in the country is the biggest transition of people moving to? What part of the country do you think has the biggest influx of people that move from out of state into?
California.
California. Because, folks, you have to understand something. This idea of mass exodus of California is one of the biggest lies that you can possibly ever hear. Everyone's moving out of California. Really? It took me an hour and 45 minutes to get here today. They're not moving fast enough. The biggest damn lie there is, the mass exodus of people from California. No, it's the biggest influx of people coming to California. So when you go network at these events, as Abigail said, you could potentially get referral business coming in because they might have clients. Motivation, inspiration. Sometimes you just need a break from the day-to-day, and you got to go to these events. So at least once a year, and I get it, some of these can be really expensive because, you know, like the Superstar Retreat for Mike Ferry. Okay, well, it's, you know, well, if you work for our brokerage, you get a ticket for $162. So that's not long. But you got to pay for 4 nights of a hotel room, right? That could be $1,000, $1,500, right? You got to pay for airfare. Well, I pay fare for. I don't know how the hell you don't drive. That was wild to me. But that's another cost, you know. And food in Vegas is pretty not cheap. So yeah, I get it. It's a couple $1,000 event. It's McDonald's, but I'm sure McDonald's in Vegas. Yeah, but McDonald's in Vegas also has slot machines. So, you know, that Big Mac turns into like a, come on. And I don't know if the strangest thing, it's like the slowest wait times at those places. It's weird. It's almost like they have that perfectly planned out. Your burger will be ready soon, I promise. No problem. I'm okay. It's just hitting these slot machines. How was McDonald's? I lost $85. Jesus Christ, what kind of burger did you have? Okay. But go to those events. Get your mind right, okay? Whatever the case may be. Track your numbers and source your business. I know a lot of you don't like tracking your numbers, but man, whew, when you track your numbers, first of all, coaching becomes a lot easier. But two, it's so much easier to see what's really going on in your business. So let me give you an example. You come to me and you say, Robert, I feel like I'm going on a lot of appointments. My closing stinks. I don't know what's going on. I'm just not closing any deals. And I'll say, okay, great. Let's go track your numbers. And I'll see that your closing percentage on your listings is 20%. You're only closing on 20% of your listings. And I can see that in the numbers. I see you set the appointments, but you only have this many contracts signed. What do you think's the first thing I'm going to talk to you about in terms of coaching?
Of course.
No, okay, but I see your numbers. After I see the numbers, I see your closing ratio is low. What do you think the first thing that's going to lead me to talk to you about?
Pre-qual.
Pre-qual. So the very first thing we're going to talk about. If your closing ratio is that low, I'm going to go talk to you about the pre-qual immediately. But if you don't track your numbers, all I could say is, I don't know, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. I can give you a bunch of suggestions. One of them will be right. But when you track your numbers, I go, pre-qual, let's talk about that. Well, why the pre-qual? I'll bet most of the people you went on appointments with aren't real appointments. Number one. And then I'll lead you to say, now I want you to do a homework assignment. Go check all the listings you didn't get and see if they listed with anybody. And it's funny, we'll do that with people, and all of a sudden their closing ratio goes from 20% to 60% on true listing appointments. But we're going to start with the pre-qual. But when you track your numbers, I can know that. I can see how much contacts you make and how much money per contact. So when I'm sitting there saying, gosh, if we could just carve out 3 more calls a day, it's going to make you this much more money. Let's look at your schedule. And all of a sudden we can hit the goals that you're looking at. Man, tracking your numbers gets really cool. But it also could tell you what sources are working, what's not working. Right? Because sometimes we work these sources and we think it's great, but they're not really great. Right? Number 9, talk with a coach at least monthly to track your progress, whoever that coach may be. Whether it's an in-house coach, myself, Neil, Patty, Jackie, Eddie, Terry, some great in-house coaches, or it's an outside coach, a Mike Ferry coach, Tom Ferry, Brian Buffini, Matthew Ferry does coaching for some of our agents. It's not a real estate thing, but it's a mindset thing. You're in Tony Robbins coaching or whatever, right? All kinds of different coaching programs. But at least once a month, talk to someone to help track your progress. Okay? But you have to be open to coaching. Okay? Now, first of all, let me say this about coaching. If you're ever in coaching and your coach is discouraging or rude to you, get a new coach. Just plain, no one should yell at you. No one should argue with you. No one should try to say you should do something that doesn't fit your goals or fit your lifestyle. So if you're in coaching like that, get the hell out. All right? No, so because I sometimes get to people about coaching, it's like, oh, I want you to be hard on me. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do. I'll hold you accountable, but I'm not going to yell at you. Like, this isn't the military, right? We're not going to do that. And if I ever get to that point where I'm yelling at you, just fire me. I'm cool. Like, I deserve it. But you have to be okay being held accountable, right? I've shared this story before, and I don't like this story, but I'll share it anyways. So Jack Ma comes on a mastermind one day, and he was talking about how this was a few years back. He had a couple of really good months. He's like, yeah, well, Robert had a conversation with me, and he kind of really kicked me into gear. And all I told him at that time, I said, man, yeah. And I said, dude, am I okay to be honest with you? He goes, yep. And I said, okay, I said, but you just got to get up. You got to get your ass to work. That's what I told him, right? He was just overthinking things. So he does it. He goes and gets the business. So this girl who worked for our company comes, she goes, I want you to hold me that accountability to hold you, Jack. And I knew this girl. And I said, no, you don't. And she said, no, I want you to be strict on me like you are, Jack. I said, no, you don't. And she said, no, I really do. I said, no, you don't. And she goes, I really? I said, fine. And I knew this girl made a lot of excuses. That's why I told her, you were not ready for this. So I said, okay, what's your goal? We'll have a talk next week. I said, what's your goal between now and next week? She gave it to me. So we get on the call next week. I said, you accomplished boom, boom. Start the call. She accomplished boom, boom, boom. No, I didn't do that. Why not? Oh, this. It was a lame excuse. It's not like a serious excuse. I had an illness, a family. It's like, oh, I'm not mean, right? It was lame excuse. Blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. I said, now you told me to treat you the same way I treated Jack. I said, yeah. I said, Jack gave me these same excuses. Here's what I tell him. I said, these are lame excuses. You need to get over and get your ass back to work. She quit the next day. True story. True story. And I don't normally curse a lot. I do it every so often to emphasize a point. But that was my thing with Jack. But she said, like, I said, okay. And I asked her even before I said it. I said, okay, now if this is Jack and you were giving me all these lame excuses, this is what I would tell you. She quit. So with coaching, you got to be open to the accountability. But here's the funny thing: even after those kind of conversations, and some of you and I have had some difficult conversations where I'm like, come on, like that's an excuse. I get over it. But then it's always like rah rah at the end. Let's go. Come on, you got this. Well, we're gonna be all right. But you got to be open to accountability if you want to be a great listing agent. Okay, but don't ever let anyone talk mean to you. Don't ever let anyone talk down to you. Don't ever let anyone be rude to you. That's bad coaching. All right, number 10, prospect around other agents in the office or a mastermind group at least 3 days a week. If you want to become a great listing agent, you need to upgrade your environment. Today was a great environment. I mean, this was a phenomenal environment. I mean, we had every desk taken today, prospecting, people having a lot of fun. Today was a phenomenal environment. You have to create that at least a few days a week. I get it. Working from home is convenient, but it's not the same as being around. I get it. Zoom is cool, and I'm on Zoom a lot because I'm traveling around to different places and I can't be everywhere all the time. But sometimes you got to get in person, right? You got to get with the energy. You got to get with the people sometimes. So at least 3 days a week, create some sort of situation in the office or a mastermind group to prospect with some other people. Okay. Now, here's the thing. In some of the, you go, well, Robert, I go to the office and there's nobody there. And I'll say, okay, well, there's 4 of you. The problem is one's over there and one's over there and one's over there. Another one's in an office. Like, why don't the 4 of you come sit in these 4 desks for 2 to 3 hours and prospect with that? Because you don't need 20 people's great, but sometimes you only need 4. But it's better than 0. So at least a few days a week, you have to create this. So find a couple people in your office, find a couple people in the company, say, hey, these days, can you come to the office? Let's mastermind together. Let's prospect. Let's feed off of the energy. And like I said, well, there's not 4 desks to sit next to each other because someone's got their stuff there. Find out who it is and let me know. And I'll call them and say, hey, so-and-so, I'm going to use your desk on Wednesday from 9 to 12. Nothing will be missing unless you plan to be there. You want to plan to be there? I see. I'll turn this into a positive. All right. You going to plan to be there?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, yeah, that sounds great. Just don't mess with my stuff. Good. Be there. Right. Or if they say no, then you can go use their desk. But you want to be a great listening agent. You got to create a better environment. You got to upgrade that a little bit. All right. Questions on the advanced 10. So below this are QR codes to a bunch of script ideas, past client neighborhoods, plan to get good, expired, free qualifying, add to the database. I mean, we did all this for you. Like, here's the blueprint. The blueprint's done. QR codes, the script, everything's done. Now you just have to do one thing. What's that one thing you got to do?
Do it.
Do it, right? Nike, just do it. Take action, whatever. But the blueprint's done. Do you think if you follow this blueprint, you scan those QR codes, do that stuff, do you think you'll take more listings in the next 6 months than you probably take in the first 6 months?
Yeah.
Folks, and I got to tell you, there's going to be more listings available. And like I said, there's going to be less agents taking them. And the agents that do this stuff here, woo, baby. Christmas is going to be nice. I might have to apply for an adoption for some of you. Like, all right, I want some of this. I'm going to get on the will. Right? I'm telling you, this is exciting stuff here. But listings are the name of the game, but we did the work. You have it lined out. Now you just got to take action. You just got to go do it. So here's what I want you to write down. All right, we'll wrap up. I want you to write this down. What is my summer goal? 90 days. Got 90 days of summer, the biggest closing months of the year. Every single year are summer. What is my goal for the next 90 days? Whether that's how many listings I want to take, how many deals I want to ask for, how many closings, how much money I want to make, or what do I want to set up? Because some of you are newer, and so maybe it's like I want to set something up instead of an actual number. But I'll wrap up with this because I don't care about shameless plugs. I don't care. I'm gonna tell you something right now, and some of you are gonna think what I say is really arrogant. That's okay. And nowhere that's a better place for you to be to become a great listing agent and handle everything that's going on with NAR and all that stuff than where you're at. There's just nobody. Well, Robert, that's really arrogant. There's a lot of great coaches and trainers and managers out there. I'm sure there are. They ain't like this. They ain't doing what we're doing. They're not dedicated the way that we're dedicated. I mean, like in the most positive way, crazy. I mean, we had a meeting on Thursday. He had to get something cut in his eye, and he shows up but we have an important meeting. He shows up to the meeting. He's got like an eye patch on, but he's like, I'm here. Let's go. And it's like, man, you want to take the rest of the day off? He's like, no, we got stuff to do. Like, he's dedicated, right? Matt's out there, Blake's out there, Keith's out there doing his thing. I mean, we're working, man. Like, there's no better place for you to be. But here's all I can ask from you. You got to get engaged.
Yeah.
Like, reach out. If you're struggling, reach out. You have questions, reach out. You want to put together a plan, reach out. I hate when people say, I know you're busy. You want to know what I'm busy doing? Trying to find real estate agents. That's what I'm busy doing all day long. What are you doing today? So how about, instead of pretending I'm busy, instead of me chasing you, why don't you just come find me? Come find Neil or anyone else that we mentioned, right? But I'm telling you, I'm so excited for the next 6 months in this company. We got so many great things going on. We have great people, and we're making some really big changes. We got the luxury division coming out. We got all kinds of really cool things in here. But take action, get involved, and let's make this summer. This is the summer that's going to change, good or bad, for a lot of people. Some of you, you're not going to make it. And this will probably be your last summer in real estate, not in this room. I'm talking about some of the people that might be listening to this recording later on. Some of you, this will be your last summer in real estate. That's okay. For the rest of some of you, this is going to be the summer that changes the rest of your real estate career. You're going to look back and go, man, summer of 2024, that was when it really cranked up. And then I started doing boom, 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 boom after that. All right. So a lot of opportunity out there. So let's get up. Let's go make it happen. All right, everybody. All right.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank you.